Trump's 2025 tax plan could make Social Security, overtime pay, and even tips completely tax-free, while slashing corporate tax rates to historic lows. This isn't just a tax cut, it's a total game changer for millions of Americans. But is it too good to be true? Nearly half of all Social Security recipients are currently paying taxes on the benefits they worked decades to earn. Imagine that, spending your entire career paying into the system, only to be taxed on it again during retirement. It's a situation that's frustrated millions, but Trump's new tax plan could change everything. Here's what we'll uncover today. Will Social Security finally become tax-free? What about your tips and overtime? These bold proposals are already sparking massive debate. What's the real deal with the new tax rates, deductions, and exemptions? Could this plan lower your taxes, or create new complications? And finally, what does this mean for your wallet? Whether you're retired, a working professional, or a business owner, I'll break down how this plan could impact your finances if it passes. Before we dive into the video, let me introduce you to Bizee, a professional formation service company that specializes in helping you file your LLC or corporation. Bizee is an amazing company that simplifies the entire process of creating your LLC. They even offer a service where they'll file your LLC on your behalf, saving you from all the hassle. A full review of Bizee is available in the description box below, and their website is linked in the first comment. Make sure to check them out. History shows us that tax reform often reshapes the economy and individual lives. Remember the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017? It gave millions of Americans bigger paychecks overnight. But could Trump's new 2025 plan do even more? Back in 1986, Ronald Reagan introduced sweeping tax reforms that completely changed how Americans filed taxes. Those changes simplified the tax code and put more money in people's pockets. Fast forward to today, Trump's proposed tax reforms for 2025 aim to shake things up in a similar way, but with some twists. Here's what's on the table. Number 1. No taxes on Social Security benefits. Right now, if you receive Social Security benefits, a large portion, up to 85%, can be taxed depending on your income level. For retirees, this means giving up thousands of dollars annually to taxes, even after spending decades contributing to the system. Under Trump's proposed tax plan, Social Security benefits would become completely tax-free at the federal level. This would allow retirees to keep their full benefit amount, potentially adding significant financial relief for millions of Americans living on fixed incomes. Number 2. Tax-free tips for service workers. If you work in a job where tips make up a big part of your income, like waiting tables, bartending, or hairstyling, you're required to report those tips and pay taxes on them. This can significantly reduce your earnings. Trump's new plan aims to exempt all tips from federal taxes. This means that every dollar you earn in tips would go straight into your pocket, creating a direct financial boost for millions of hardworking service industry professionals. Number 3. Exemption for overtime pay at the federal level. Overtime pay is a lifeline for millions of workers who clock in extra hours to support their families or save for the future. However, this extra income is currently taxed like regular earnings, reducing the reward for working harder. Under the new tax proposal, overtime pay would be exempt from federal income taxes. This change would allow workers to keep more of what they earn during those extra shifts, providing a significant financial lift for hourly employees. Number 4. A new deduction for auto loan interest. If you're paying off an auto loan, you know how quickly interest can add up. But unlike mortgage interest, which is tax deductible, auto loan interest currently isn't. The new plan introduces a deduction for auto loan interest, giving taxpayers an additional way to reduce their taxable income. This would be especially beneficial for those who rely on their vehicles for work or business, offering meaningful savings on a common expense. Number 5. Lower corporate tax rates to boost U.S. manufacturing. Manufacturers in the U.S. are currently taxed at a corporate rate of 21%, which can strain their ability to compete globally. Trump's tax plan proposes lowering this rate to 15% for manufacturers operating within the country. This reduction would free up significant resources for companies to invest in new jobs, equipment, and innovation. Ultimately, this move is designed to strengthen U.S. manufacturing and create more domestic employment opportunities. Number 6. Removing the SALT, state and local tax. If you live in a state with high property or income taxes, you've likely felt the pinch of the $10,000 SALT cap. This cap limits how much you can deduct from your federal taxes for state and local taxes paid, effectively doubling the tax burden for many. Trump's plan seeks to eliminate this cap entirely. This would allow taxpayers in states like New York, California, and New Jersey to deduct all their state and local taxes, potentially saving them tens of thousands of dollars annually. These proposals collectively aim to put more money back into the hands of Americans, whether you're retired, working extra hours, relying on tips, or running a business. If implemented, they could reshape household budgets and national economic priorities. Think about this. Retirees pay taxes on up to 85% of their Social Security income. That's money they've already earned, saved, and relied on for retirement. What if they didn't have to pay that tax anymore? Imagine an elderly couple living on a fixed income of $40,000 a year in Social Security. Right now, they're losing over $7,000 to federal taxes. For them, this tax burden isn't just an inconvenience, it's the difference between affording healthcare or skipping meals. Trump's plan would eliminate federal taxes on Social Security, meaning retirees could pocket thousands more annually. Additionally, hourly workers could enjoy tax-free overtime, benefiting over 34 million Americans who work extra hours each year. For many families, this could mean paying for childcare, medical bills, or even taking a well-deserved vacation. What will the new tax rate, deduction, and exemption be like? Imagine for a moment that the tax brackets are like a staircase you climb as your income grows. Over the years, this staircase has changed, sometimes adding more steps, sometimes reducing them, and often shifting how steep each step is. Trump's tax plan has shaken up the staircase, and here's how. Let's start with the tax brackets. When Trump initially proposed his tax plan, he wanted to cut the total number of brackets from 7 to 4. While that didn't happen, the rates themselves were reduced. For example, the top rate used to be 39.6%, but under Trump's changes, it was dropped to 37%. The rates range from 10% to 37%, and they still apply in 2024. Looking ahead to 2025, these rates are expected to remain, with brackets like 10% for incomes up to $11,925 for single filers, 12% for incomes up to $48,475, and so on, all the way up to the top rate of 37% for incomes above $626,350 for single filers. But here's the kicker, the standard deduction got a massive boost. For single filers, it's now $15,000 in 2025, compared to $14,600 in 2024. For married couples filing jointly, it jumps to $30,000. That's money you get to subtract from your taxable income before you even think about tax brackets. For many Americans, this means you might not need to itemize deductions at all. It's like getting a built-in tax break. Now, let's talk about the infamous SALT deduction cap. Back in 2018, this was capped at $10,000, which hurt taxpayers in high-tax states like California and New York. Trump's plan aims to remove that cap entirely. If this happens, people in those states could write off all their state and local taxes, potentially saving them thousands. For homeowners, there's a limit on the mortgage interest deduction. It applies to mortgages up to $750,000. While this limit hasn't changed, it's still important for those with larger home loans. Then there's the child tax credit. Under Trump's changes, it doubled to $2,000 per child under 17, with $1,700 of it refundable in 2025. This is huge for families, offering direct relief to offset the costs of raising children. And for the wealthiest Americans, the estate and gift tax exemption was doubled under Trump's plan, allowing estates worth up to $13.99 million in 2025 to transfer wealth tax-free. Those planning generational wealth strategies, this is a game changer, but it's set to sunset back to pre-2018 levels after 2025 if no further action is taken. Finally, for corporations, Trump's tax cuts reduced the corporate tax rate from 35% to a flat 21%. Looking ahead, his proposal to drop it even further for US-based manufacturers to 15% could attract more businesses to invest domestically, potentially creating more jobs. So, whether you're working, running a business, or saving for retirement, these changes could impact how much of your income stays in your pocket or goes to Uncle Sam. Now, when might this new tax bill get passed? The question isn't just what's in the tax plan, it's when, or even if, these changes will happen. Timing is everything when it comes to tax reform. In 2001, George W. Bush passed significant tax cuts after months of back and forth in Congress. Similarly, Trump's tax proposals hinge on Republican control of the House, Senate, and presidency. The political landscape will determine how fast or how much of this plan gets enacted. If Republicans gain a majority in all branches, this bill could roll out in early 2025. However, even with a divided Congress, some provisions, like tax-free overtime, might still gain bipartisan support. Either way, preparation is key for making the most of these changes. If you're ready to take control of your financial future, make sure to stay informed about these tax changes. For business owners or aspiring entrepreneurs, check out the link in the description to watch my full review of Bizee and see how their platform can help you form your own company legally. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on business registration, LLC formation, and tax planning. Your financial future starts here, so stick around and let's make it happen.